minutes from me. 30.
Yeah, he's in the county right now, right there.
Why Trump called Biden's administration? You know, I mean, those kind of little things is like, oh.
Yeah, but you know what you said about the 25th Amendment, that makes sense because now if it's not the president, if other people can invoke it, with Trump's not in office, now then that's when they can push to remove people out of office without having to be the president.
Right. But if Trump can remove them from office before they can enact anything, it really doesn't matter.
It's
Yeah,
still
no,
all
that's what I'm
it's
saying.
still
That was
all
kind of
got to
smart.
go through Congress, man. Trump also said that he wasn't going to lose. You know,
Right.
True.
And
Right.
I'm just
True.
setting
Right.
a little. I'm just the morbid character here. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to give up till the 20th. Personally, that's when the fat lady sings.
Wait, what did you guys say about Parrish, Florida?
That's where the
Killing us
homeboy.
in
That's
these
where.
armed protests. It's all a setup. It's a setup by the FBI. Please do not show up to these armed protests. It's a setup.
Yeah, do not do that. Do not do that.
It is
No,
200% some
dude that
glowy,
took the
fed
desk-
up shit. I don't understand how people even think it's real. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's to take your guns.
Hello, guys. Can you speak Arabic?
No, we don't.
Civilization. The American people is the largest army. That's the only reason we've never been invaded by a force. You know the reason the Japanese, after they bombed us at Pearl Harbor, the whole reason they didn't invade us is did you know Wisconsin alone has 600,000 registered hunters? He said, yeah, we might be able to get on land, but how are we going to take over the land when every American has a gun?
Yep.
That's
Behind
what
every
communism
blade of
wants to
grass.
do. Exactly.
I'm
That's
locked.
why they want this
I'm
rivalry
locked
to go
and
on,
loaded.
so then they can take our guns legally, so then we can't fight back when big government is now the Communist Party.
Yeah. We're going to be all right, man. We don't have to jump off the deep end just yet. You know, it ain't over.
I got
Just-
a few 9mm.
Who's okay? I have a question for.
I got 9mm, 8mm Mauser. I'm okay, and I got
Listen,
plenty
got
of
my
ammo. But
9mm
we
for
don't.
sale. $1 a bullet.
You got it for sale.
Accident.
What'd you say? You got
That's
it for
just a
sale?
setup. Trying to calm for,
No, I'm just
for people
joking.
calling for
$2
an
a
armed
bullet.
conflict against the American government is not thinking correctly. Our American military, with just a cruiser and a destroyer, 2 ships and 1 naval fleet in the Indian Ocean, have enough firepower to literally blow Iran off the map. Do you really think all of us Americans with our little guns at home can fight our American military? No, the correct answer is no. So anybody trying to initiate something is literally, it's a setup, so then they can use that to take all the people that are going to fight against the government. We got to get rid of them. All these people that are going to come armed against the government, we got to get rid of them. If people stop falling for these little traps, there's no way that they could take our guns from us. People are giving them to them by doing stupid things like this.
No, we're not going to give up our guns, man, and we don't need to fall into the traps. You know,
Just
our
like
military
the
is
shootings
not.
are actually set up and not real.
Our military is not going to turn against the people. They're
Exactly, but that's because we're not going to have an armed resurrection. You know what I mean? Thinking that that'll actually get us something. We have to do it smarter than we got to be. We have to have a solution
Hey, in
for the problem
Venezuela,
before we
even
can
the
fix the problem.
military was not for the people, so they were
That is
trusting
want-
in the military. At the end, military.
Do
was
you
for
want to
them.
know what really taught me about what happened at the Capitol? What it really showed me was I was worried about the Capitol Police and them being a problem. And a lot of dudes on ground there that I've talked to, they said they were talking to them and they were able to talk to them and say, hey, listen, let's be reasonable, let us in. And they let them in. That's the way
Yes,
it went,
that is
man.
correct. That is correct.
and
Because
I
there's a
thank
lot
God
of dissension within the ranks. Don't get it fucked up. There's a lot of dissension in the ranks.
Yeah, well, Eric, they just had, the FBI just had, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but the FBI just had a press conference on Newsmax, and they say they are not considering this a terroristic attack against the Capitol.
Well, good.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be a
Thank
terrorist
God
attack.
Trump got enough of his own guys in FBI, because if Comey
Right.
was in there, it'd be a different story.
Right, I understand, but I mean, like, they're saying that we're terrorists and they're all against politics. That they've already ruled that out. There are some people that were arrested, mostly felon or mostly misdemeanor offenses, with a couple felonies.
Now, my brother
Correct.
just told me that he got it from a reliable source. I don't know, but I guess one of the police officers that let him in the Capitol building committed suicide yesterday.
That's possible.
I
That's what
mean,
I heard. You'll have to check
anything's
up on
possible
that.
messing with the Democratic Party. I mean, how many people committed suicide after quitting working for
Oh,
Hillary Clinton?
that's just Clinton alone.
When they get into jail, they will, because they won't know what to do with themselves. They've been so spoiled for the last 40 years. You
Bro,
know, they
if
won't know
all
how to
those
handle
people end
jail.
up, oh man, if all those people end up in jail, bro, I'll do something just to end up in jail with them, and I'll be buddies with them. Bro, I will. Man, I'm not even gonna say it, but it'd be bad. I ain't no rapist, but
Somebody recording this shit.
But who? But what if? What if Pelosi did get arrested?
Good.
It would go on for years. She'd never see a jail cell. She'd get indicted. That's about it. Indicted, it'd be in court for years.
Hey, I have a real quick question for anyone who can answer. Did anybody see like the 7,000 military troops that just got dropped off in Washington? Does anybody know what that's about?
Somebody did a video at a truck stop where there was a shit ton of military troops with just straight up guns.
No,
like,
Eric. Hey, listen. So the reason they sent 15,000 troops to D.C. is because there's a website. It's called PAFA. Some numbers and shit. I'm not trying to say because I'm not trying to get affiliated. But anyways, it's calling for armed resurrection against all the Democrats, and they're asking for 15,000 armed Americans to be in D.C. on the 16th and 17th. Literally on the web, anybody can find it. And so that's why the FBI, or the military, is sending 15,000 to counteract these 15,000 supposedly armed protesters.
Right.
It's a bad idea. I hope nobody
Thank
goes.
you. Thank you for that answer. I appreciate that.
Yep. I've heard the same thing, and everybody, and I think it's a thing to take their guns, like you were saying, Bob.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
If they're dumb enough to do it, they probably deserve their guns to be taken. They're fucking stupid as shit.
Yeah, they can just get them all riled up in the same area. You know?
It's not Co again, she's a friendly little butterfly.
So, what are we gonna do if they do take our guns?
They ain't getting my gun.
Shoot them.
Because I ain't gonna put myself in that position.
If you're in your home,
them taking them.
It'll be another Waco, Texas, and then a bunch of crazy.
It's gonna be a long fucking night. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a long fucking night.
Some crazy mofos. I know some crazy mofos with no family that have no attachments to reality, and they are crazy for real. They want it to go down. So those are the people that you don't want to piss off.
Hey, my bullet just got to make contact with their head before theirs does mine.
Well, what if, because there's a video of Clinton, not Hillary Clinton, killing a child.
I don't even want to hear about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Terrible.
We're on a subject. Let's try to keep the subject that we got going on. You know, I mean,
yes.
Here's what I have to say about the mofos that are crazy. I grew up in the projects. I ain't got no problem with this. You know, I dealt with that half my life. So just because somebody got a gun don't mean I can't take care of myself. You know.
Well, Germany took guns away from their people.
Yeah, they were kind of doing what is being done. Also, history repeats itself.
Yes, it does.
And
it ain't gonna come to that, man. It ain't gonna come to that. You know, nobody's gonna give up their guns. It'll be a long fucking night for whoever comes to try to take it.
Yeah,
it will.
I agree with that.
With all the military that we have that are ex-military, they have the same training as we do, and we have. I mean, we got a lot of small arms, but we got a lot of big arms too in the private sector. You know, so.
But the military backs Trump 100%.
Yeah, the military. Hey, you have a good day, man.
They're taking guns, guys.
Yeah, they're gonna try. They might. But
well, here's the thing: the federal government can't take your guns at the state level. State legislation handles that. They can only put regulation on how to manage and govern the gun laws, but they
Right.
can't come and
Okay.
take your gun. The state law covers that. Now, like in the state of Texas,
Okay.
we have the right to do that. We handle our own gun laws. Even if they ban AR-15s, the state can actually mandate, you can keep it. We're not going to come and take it. I mean, I've already
Right.
talked to my local police and sheriff department down here. They said, no, we're not going to come and take it because we want your help when the shit is banned.
My guns ain't registered. I don't care. They don't know I got nothing.
Hey, Patriot, man, come on, bro. You know that someone's recording
I
this
don't
shit. Don't be
care.
saying stupid
I'll let
shit.
them record.
I don't care. They can't find none.
The problem is all the soy boys that want to sit there and play these games. And yes, the million militia march, yeah, they're trying to stir something up, and we've already heard about that here in Texas. We've had 3 state people go talk to a friend of mine. They pulled him in and said, "Hey, are you going to go to the Capitol?" This is in all 50 states. It's not just in the U.S. Capitol, Washington D.C. This is all capitals of the United States, in Texas, California, everywhere. They're trying to get everybody to go out and do all these protests so they can sit there and say, oh, "Look at all these people with guns. We need to ban it."
Correct. I believe the same thing.
This guy was actually told by our law enforcement here, okay, like the Texas Rangers,
Yeah,
or DPS, Department of Public Safety here, said, "Do not show up at that rally." That's exactly what he told him. And it's not to submerge or subvert our First Amendment right. It's just so
no, it's
it
just to
doesn't
let
give
them know
them
it's a
leverage.
setup.
Yeah.
Some of the state law enforcement are going to actually protect you more than what you realize. It's not going to be the federal government. It's not going to be the Army. It's going to be your local law enforcement that does that.
I agree.
I mean, just look what happened in California. You have a lot of 2A sanctuary cities there that you're not going in and touching their guns.
Right.
They'll deputize the whole town. They've already said it.
Right.
So yeah, let's just I don't want to jump off like somebody was saying earlier. Let's not jump off on a conspiracy.
That was me.
And jump off on the left train. What we need to do is handle our local governments and state governments first. What you need to do is play the game the way they do it, but do it in a political way. Infiltrate, gain information, and then counter their information. Get 5 moves ahead of them, so when it starts falling, it falls in that direction.
Right.
Colonel Allen West of the GOP chairman here in Texas, go look at a statement he put out. He says that same exact thing. That's the same way the insurgency, the envelope, and everything happens.
Right.
So what are the chances of Texas actually seceding from the Union? Because I know they reserve that right when they join.
The bill has been submitted.
Oh my God! I promise you, the day I need to know, because my family, we're packing the camper, we're coming.
No, the bill has been submitted for review. So it's on the table.
Wouldn't hold my breath. That ain't gonna happen.
No,
but it's a 2 year. I mean, that's a 2 year process in
no,
itself.
it's not.
Though.
It's a voting session. It's only one voting session. If they come out of the chambers by July, it could be put on the ballot by the end of the year.
Okay, that wasn't what I heard yesterday when I heard them talking about it.
Now, once it's approved, it's just like
maybe
Brexit, right? Brexit.
Maybe it's a 2 year process.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a 2 year process, but it's not saying that we don't. But Texas is the only state that actually has its own military. That fights.
It has its own military. It has its own gold supply as well.
Well, we got gold. We have oil.
Texas is the only state in the United States that can support itself. Texas was its own nation for 5 years now.
Yeah, I mean we're self-sustaining. We support we supply energy and oil to over.
I mean, I hope you don't, because the rest of the country really needs you.
Well,
I hope it doesn't come down to that. I mean, I like Texas, except when it's Eagles and the Dallas.
If Texas succeeds, they can take 5 states with them from the Union.
They can take the center part of the United States completely with them.
Please take Georgia, please.
Well,
Take
Yeah,
Iowa.
probably.
No, I think they would take Oklahoma. They'd probably take Arkansas. They'd probably take Iowa, Kansas.
Just go straight.
Oklahoma's like a
Just go
hitchhiker.
straight
Straight
up.
north. Yeah.
Just go straight north from Texas, and all those states will be on board.
Oh, well, then that'd be perfect. I'm in Iowa, so we wouldn't even have to go nowhere.
Welcome aboard, brother.
Hell
But
yeah.
but here's the thing.
I'm in
It's
Iowa
not
too.
These
I'm
are
in
all
Georgia.
chess moves, right?
I'm in Georgia, and if friggin' Texas leaves, I'm coming.
Hey,
So
man,
think of it this
I got
way.
plenty of land and a couple campers. Come on down.
So think of it this way.
Shit,
These are
yeah, deer
all
hunting
chess
all day
moves.
long. Woo!
These are all chess moves. We're putting our foot down because this is the way
Good.
it is.
That's right.
These are chess moves. Look,
That's right.
we were the only state to actually file a Supreme Court filing against another state during
Just
this
remember,
election.
just remember, Davy Crockett and everybody came to the Alamo to help Texas. So, like, return the favor when the time comes.
But
Better
that's
get
the
your
thing.
passports ready.
We're pretty calm down here. We're level headed.
Yes, sir.
There's some things that are in left field, but we want actual facts. We don't want just stories being put out there. Like Nancy Pelosi, right now it's too close to election time. She could be under security guard, right? Not that she's arrested, but that she's under protection because there has been threats out there for these people.
Yes.
So she could be not out there on the floor because of that threat.
Right.
Didn't even think of that. Yes. Did you guys
Well,
see
even our house
hold on,
in
hold on.
California,
Let me
they
see
know
the
where
chat.
they're at.
Let me send to the chat. Hold on. Look at this right here. Let me see this. Look at this right here. I just added it right there. Hold on. Boom. Okay, it says in 1983, Susan Rosenberg planted a bomb outside the U.S. Senate chamber to assassinate Republican senators. House Judiciary Committee Representative Jerry Nadler got President Clinton to pardon Susan Rosenberg, and she is now
On
a
his
board
last day
member
off.
of Black Lives Matter Network, Inc.
So his last day of office, he did pardon her.
Yeah, and now she's a board member for the Black Lives Matter
Mhm.
Network, Inc.
Correct. So just think of it this way: understand the Agenda 21 process, because and just like somebody was saying earlier, Venezuela, and I'll tell you how old I am by when I say this. I remember when Venezuela was the second richest country in the world, and I watched it fall. I watched it fall to its knees because the people could not defend themselves.
Like my
The
whole life,
reason they
I've always
couldn't-
thought Venezuela's been a third world country. I was only born in the 90s.
Yeah, it's never been a third world country. They used to be very prosperous and lived a good life. Everybody. That's the reason they gave up all their guns. They gave up everything because it was all hunky dory until it was
Also
time.
built
And then
their
they
entire
canceled.
economy around oil, so that might not be a great example for Texas.
Oh no, we know. We know. I mean, we got a lot of Venezuelans here,
Remember
and
that
also
chicken
Florida.
shit coup they tried to do against them?
You said, what was that?
I said, yeah, we know. I mean, but they also handle uranium enrichments too.
Yep,
They have the largest stockpile of uranium.
But if Texas leaves, the whole military leaves.
Well, also, not only that, Texas has also, there's 5 different states that actually have militia groups. And actually, Texas has the largest militia group that report
They have
directly to the
actually
governor
have
of Texas.
Yeah, the state militia they have.
Yes, sir.
They have a state militia, and then they have a state army and an air force.
Yes, that is true.
I'm still trying to find a militia in Pennsylvania. I haven't found one yet.
There's supposed to be one there.
I know they are there. I just
hang on
don't
a minute.
know them.
Look up online. And it's called the Pennsylvania Defense Force.
Oh,
okay. I'll do that now while I'm talking. I think I
But
can do it all
also
at the same
Georgia
time.
has it too, but named basically the same thing, just different state name.
Doesn't Kansas have one as well?
Yeah, every state has them.
Well, we are screwed.
What's the name of that
Power
website?
Grid
Huh?
is
Say again?
independent of the nation too.
What is the name of that website that you just mentioned?
Georgia only has the Georgia State Defense Force. They don't have an Air Force or anything like that.
No, only Texas has that.
The unorganized militia called the Georgia State Defense Force that answers to the governor.
State army, but then there's 5 other states that have state militias or defense forces.
Yeah.
Well, my state's screwed then.
Where you live at?
Georgia.
Nope. Georgia Defense Forces. They actually have them.
Does Nevada?
Nevada. Just look up. Here's the thing. If you're trying to get into a militia, is that what you're looking at?
Yes.
Look up the 3%ers in your area.
All right, Pennsylvania Defense Force, volunteer military organization. Would that be something?
That is
Yeah.
it. That's the
Yeah.
state. So that state defense force, they report directly to the governor.
Well, I'm just curious. I don't want to be clicking on these links if it's the wrong one,
Well, here's the thing.
I live in Georgia and I
Download.
have a militia of my own.
Yeah, you can build your own.
All right, Pennsylvania Defense Force is a privately organized paramilitary group which operates in eastern Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's the right one.
No, it'd probably be the right one. They name themselves different things all over the place.
Right.
All it is a bunch of locals that want to
Protect their home front.
They want to protect their home front, so it's protecting everything locally.
Exactly.
You know, there's something called Fortitude Ranch that has 11 of the same thing. It's a militia based, and they take in people. You can rent, basically live there while they protect you. They teach you the ways of protecting yourself at the same time. It's pretty neat. Look up Fortitude Ranch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but I live down here where we have our own military, so it's like, but that's not saying I do not have my own local group that we protect our local groups. So we're just a bunch of
These Fortitude Ranches were set up exactly for a moment just like this, and this is the first time they've opened their gates. So there's
you said
people
there's
calling
11
and wanting help.
different ranches? You said there's 11 different ranches?
Correct, throughout the United States. They're there's one in Texas, which is where I am. They're mostly to the east side, northeast United States.
Yeah, where you at?
It'll show a map of where they are.
You can send me a private message where you're at in Texas. See how close we are.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to say online or anything. Private message, that's even better.
Who else is in Georgia?
I am. I'm in southern Georgia.
Oh, me too.
And yes, I feel
You're in Iowa here.
So anything you do, guys, remember there's always going to be people listening that are not part of the friendly skies or friendly forces, however you want to put it, right?
Mhm.
So always chat direct
in code.
And if you can meet face to face, then you know the people you can trust.
True.
Right. I was speaking to someone earlier. That way, we made contact with each other. But
yeah, it's just little things. It helps give you your own peace of mind, right?
I don't want to jump off the deep end here. I mean, hell, I ain't even got enough guns to really get involved. I got a hunting rifle and a pistol, but that's about it. And I don't carry that stuff with me anyway. But if I ever needed it, I could get to it.
It all starts with conversation, man. Just get to know each other.
That's it.
I just sent you a message, Angel.
Okay.
So
I hear what you're saying. I shouldn't throw out where we're going to be at. So yeah, I hear you.
Just don't go off the deep end, guys. I mean, we have sensible conversation.
And bring more
I know
people
where that's at, Angel.
to get
I
together.
used to live right around that area.
Mhm. And I am scared out of my mind because I live I live by two military bases.
You down near Fort Stewart?
Nope.
I can't say I can't say it because I'm afraid Black Lives Matter might burn my house down.
If you're near Fort Stewart, I have a contact for you in that area.
I'm afraid.
All right. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean,
you can send it to me in a link. I mean, in a message.
Yeah, I just told him where you're close by at.
No, okay, all right, no problem.
I just don't want Black
No, I
Lives Matter.
understand. I understand. Look, there's nothing illegal about being in a militia. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah,
militia.
see, the United States Constitution and the Georgia Constitution clearly states that you can have both a organized militia and an unorganized
That's right.
militia.
It doesn't make you a
Um.
criminal to want to be a belonging to a
No,
militia.
no,
So
but what is unlawful is having a private paramilitary organization.
I have a question. I'm afraid Trump might be quitting, might be losing hope.
Here's
No way.
listen. This is bigger than just one man.
yes,
Okay,
it is.
Trump has just opened your eyes. Right now, it's up for us to do what we can locally and statewide to make the right changes.
Yeah, that's why I've been saying we can't rely on Trump to do anything for us. You know, with or without Trump, it's up to us to make the changes. Like he said,
I
whatever
mean,
you got to do, you got to do it.
it's not about the Trump flag. It's not about the Trump 2020. It's about the red, white, and blue.
You guys,
People,
what
people have fought for
about,
that flag for years.
can you guys listen in? Are you listening?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I hear you.
What about if Trump it was part of all this as well? Because it was just exactly what happened. You know, that was something that we were concerned and like, okay, let's just follow. Let's trust, that he's gonna do something. But on the other hand, we were like, okay, what about if it's gonna be just exactly the same plague like in Venezuela? Because at the end, everybody was just united. It was the same thing. It was not good and bad. Everybody was bad. So we were like, okay, let's keep trusting. Let's keep trusting. But everything is just being the same. So it's
Well,
hard. It's hard
Well,
to really believe.
to go along with what she's saying,
Attention from the
a lot of the people that say trust the plan or keep believing in Trump that everybody's going to be arrested and this, that, and the other thing, all they're really doing is going off of what these people on 4chan and 8chan has been saying about QAnon and about the Pizzagate and all that stuff. Now, if you believe in
Well,
conspiracy theories, yeah, that's fine. But, you know, ultimately, it's us that has to make the change. We
I
can't
think
just rely
all of
on
us.
the
I
president.
think a lot of. I think a
This
lot of
is a
us are just
LibriVox recording.
worried.
All
Will you
LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more
Here we go
information
again.
or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Conquest of Bread by Peter Kropotkin. Chapter 1. Our Riches.
Chapter 1.
Part 1. The human race has traveled far since those bygone ages when men used to fashion their rude implements of flint and lived on the precarious spoils of the chase,
Really?
leaving to their children for their only heritage a shelter beneath the rocks, some poor
Bro,
utensil,
I
and
need
nature,
someone to med
vast,
on, man.
ununderstood,
What the
and
fuck?
terrific, with whom they had to fight for their wretched existence. During the agitated times which have elapsed since, and which have lasted for many thousand years, mankind has nevertheless amassed untold treasures. It has cleared the land, dried the marshes, pierced the forests, made roads.
What
It
are
has
we
been building,
listening to?
inventing, observing, reasoning. It has created a complex machinery, wrested her secrets from nature, and finally it has made a servant of steam. And the result is that now the child of the civilized man finds ready, at its birth, to his hand an immense capital accumulated by
A lot
those
of
who have gone
fucking
before
work, but
him.
it means
And this
nothing.
capital enables him to acquire, merely by his own labor, combined with the labor of others, riches surpassing the dreams of the Orient, expressed in the fairy tales of the 1,001 Nights. The soil is
You're
cleared
on
to
a
a great
fairy
extent,
tale, all right.
fit for the reception of the best seeds, ready to make a rich return for the skill and labor spent upon it, a return more than sufficient for all the wants of humanity. The methods of cultivation are known. On the wide prairies of America, each 100 men, with the aid of powerful machinery, can produce in a few months enough wheat to maintain 10,000 people for a whole year. And where a man wishes to double his produce, to treble it, to multiply it 100-fold, he makes the soil, gives to each plant the requisite care, and thus obtains enormous returns. While the hunter of old had to scour 50 or 60 square miles to find food for his family, the civilized man supports his household with far less pains and far more certainty on a thousandth part of that space. Climate is no longer an obstacle. When the sun fails, man replaces it by artificial heat, and we see the coming of a time when artificial light also will be used to stimulate vegetation. Meanwhile, by the use of glass and hot water pipes, man renders a given space 10 and 50 times more productive than it was in its natural state. The prodigies accomplished in industry are still more striking, with the cooperation of those intelligent beings. Modern machines, themselves the fruit of 3 or 4 generations of inventors, mostly unknown. 100 men manufacture now the stuff clothed 10,000 persons for a period of 2 years. In well-managed coal mines, the labor of 100 miners furnishes each year enough fuel to warm 10,000 families under an inclement sky. And we have lately witnessed twice the spectacle of a wonderful city springing up in a few months at Paris, without interrupting in the slightest degree the regular work of the French nation. And if in manufactures as in agriculture, and is indeed through our whole social system, the labor, the discoveries, and the inventions of our ancestors profit chiefly the few, it is nonetheless certain that mankind in general, aided by the creatures of steel and iron which it already possesses, could already procure an existence of wealth and ease for every one of its members. Truly, we are rich, far richer than we think, rich in what we already possess, richer still in the possibilities of production of our actual mechanical outfit, richest of all in what we might win from our soil, from our manufactures, from our science, from our technical knowledge, were they but applied to bring about the well-being of all.
Yes, yeah, someone needs to get the
Chapter
moderator
1, Part 2. We in civilized societies are rich. Why then are the many poor? Why this painful drudgery for masses? Why, even to the best paid workmen, this uncertainty for the morrow, in the midst of all the wealth inherited from the past, in spite of the powerful means of production, which could ensure comfort to all in return for a few hours of daily toil? Socialists have said it and repeated it unwearingly. Daily they reiterate it, demonstrating it by arguments taken from all the sciences. It is because all that is necessary for production, the land, the mines, the highways, machinery, food, shelter, education, knowledge, all have been seized by the few in the course of that long story of robbery, enforced migration and wars, of ignorance and oppression, which has been the life of the human race before it had learned to subdue the forces of nature. It is because, taking advantage of alleged rights acquired in the past, these few appropriate today 2/3 of the products of human labor, and then squander them in the most stupid and shameful way. It is because, having reduced the masses to a point at which they have not the means of subsistence for a month, or even a week in advance, the few only allow the many to work on condition of themselves receiving the lion's share. It is because these few prevent the remainder of men from producing the things they need, and force them to produce, not the necessaries of life for all, but whatever offers the greatest profits to the monopolists. In this is the substance of all socialism. Take indeed a civilized country. The forests which once covered it have been cleared, the marshes drained, the climate improved. It has been made habitable. The soil, which bore formerly only a coarse vegetation, is covered today with rich harvests. The rock walls in the valleys are laid out in terraces and covered with vines bearing golden fruit. The wild plants, which yielded not but acrid berries or uneatable roots, have been transformed by generations of culture into succulent vegetables or trees covered with delicious fruit. Thousands of highways and railroads furrow the earth and pierce the mountains. The shriek of the engine is heard in wild gorge, Alps, Caucasus, and the Himalayas. Rivers have been made navigable. Coasts, carefully surveyed, are easy of access. Artificial harbors, laboriously dug out and protected against the fury of the sea, afford shelter to the ships. Deep shafts have
What a
been sunk in the
loser.
rocks. Labyrinths of underground galleries have been dug out where coal may be raised or minerals extracted. The crossings of the highways greatly increased progress. And within their borders all the treasures of industry, science, and art have been accumulated. Whole generations
Loser.
I thought I did some good drugs back in the day. Holy
Kinda
shit.
piece of loser. For thousands
Yeah.
Loser.
Dude, even if I was
Anarchy, you
tripping, I could have
loser.
listened to this.
Yeah, is someone definitely gonna try and get a hold of a moderator? Because I can't find them.
We need to kick this
Yeah.
punk off as soon as possible, man.
Don't let it upset you.
Every mile.
It's no different what they did during the Hitler times. No different what they did during Cuba.
We just need to keep talking over him.
Well, the soy boys, they don't
They'll
understand
just
that.
make it louder.
Some people,
They'll lose
well, they don't
interest in a while.
understand. They don't understand that some people have been trained in psyops and they've had to do this torture. For someone like that was trained in it, it doesn't bother them to start laughing at them.
It don't bother me
That's
anyway.
just a bee
So don't
buzzing
let
in your ear.
it's all it is. It's just a lonely person, that he may have a dildo in his mouth. I don't know.
That
That
sounds
may
about
be him.
right.
You think about it, right? And I didn't mean to offend anybody with that statement there, but
Hey man, whatever floats his boat.
Well, it's about
wish
like a
he-
picture that I seen. He might be floating his mom's boat.
Yeah,
You never
right.
know.
Is he gagging on it? What happened?
I saw this video of Michelle Obama dancing on Oprah Winfrey's show, and she was like doing this dance,
Oh yeah,
and I
and her
could literally
dong
see her.
was flopping
Oh
all
my
over the
god,
place.
it was incredible. I'm like, what the hell? That looks like the penis. And I feel
I've
bad for
watched
women
it
everywhere
over, and
because she's got these fucking arms. Michelle Obama's got these arms, right? And they're just fucking jacked. I was like, how does a woman get such defined arms? And I think I figured it out, guys. I figured it out.
But yeah, you can't let stuff like that bother you.
I'll get rude if I comment on shit like that.
Well, for me, I just didn't have access to my but yeah, you just can't let stuff like that upset you. What they do is they base on emotion. They're emotional people.
I am too, but I usually end up hitting somebody over. I am too, but I usually end up hitting somebody when I do that shit. They don't bother me, man. They're lost.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, they're
It's not
lost.
just a loss. They just have a different. They're not